Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where we go beyond surface-level headlines to explore real financial developments that impact your future. In today's update, we're digging deep into one of the most overlooked but potentially transformative shifts within Iraq's financial system. This isn't speculation, it's a detailed look at how rising liquidity, global financial restructuring, and Iraq's banking evolution are setting the stage for what could be a powerful surge or recalibration in the value of the Iraqi dinar. Whether it climbs back toward its historical high of over $3.00 or repositions under $1.00 in a new financial framework, the moves happening now are worth your full attention. For decades, Iraq's economy has been framed by conflict, sanctions, and rebuilding. But what if the most important chapter is only just beginning? Quietly, without the spotlight of the mainstream media, Iraq's banking sector is experiencing a liquidity surge. That means cash reserves are building, internal systems are strengthening, and international trust is slowly returning. This isn't just symbolic, it's visible in real infrastructure projects, new partnerships, and serious financial contracts. And while the dinar still trades well below $1, that gap between perceived value and actual economic potential is what's driving renewed interest. Back in 1990, the Iraqi dinar traded at over $3.00. Since then, the country has faced invasion, political instability, and deep financial strain. But now it's emerging from that chaos with something rare: measurable economic resilience. Oil exports are consistent, gold reserves are climbing, and the modernization of Iraq's financial sector is finally underway. For the first time in years, there's a path forward that doesn't rely on crisis, but on structure, reform, and smart integration. The modern value of currency isn't calculated the way it once was. Decades ago, military strength or oil output could heavily influence a country's exchange rate, but that model no longer defines the global market. Welcome to the Basel era, Basel I-ish, Basel I-ish, Basel I-ish. These international banking standards don't just measure economic output. They prioritize transparency, liquidity ratios, reserve requirements, and interbank compliance. In this system, countries that manage risk well and modernize their financial institutions earn global credibility. Surprisingly, Iraq is showing progress across all these areas, from central bank policy tightening to adopting anti-money laundering protocols. The country is quietly climbing up the credibility ladder. But the dinar isn't trading at $1.00 or $3.00 yet. Why? Because Iraq's role isn't isolated anymore. It's part of a broader transformation, a shift toward regional financial cooperation, currency baskets, and new digital trade corridors. Rather than expecting Iraq to return to the past, financial leaders around the world are preparing for something new: a cooperative system of interlinked economies. The concept of a currency basket is gaining traction. Instead of one currency dominating others, groups of nations trade and support each other through linked valuation models. In this framework, if one economy faces instability, others in the basket help stabilize its value. Iraq's close trading ties with China, Turkey, and Gulf states like the UAE make it a strong candidate for this system. This approach isn't about chasing dominance. It's about minimizing volatility and promoting regional strength. And for Iraq, this could provide a much more stable foundation for the dinar's future. Instead of the currency needing to stand alone, its value would be backed by the strength of a shared financial structure. That means even if it doesn't return to its previous $3.00 high, it could still gain meaningful value and usability on a global scale. The future of the Iraqi dinar might not be about reclaiming past numbers. It could be about forging new ones. The country is building a diversified economy, expanding into new sectors beyond oil, and forming diplomatic and financial links that extend far beyond its borders. These developments are not just good news for investors. They're signs of real maturity in how Iraq is approaching its place in the global economy. There's no doubt that challenges remain. Corruption hasn't been eradicated. Political disagreements still surface. But behind the scenes, Iraq's financial identity is being redefined. It's happening through practical reforms, not flashy announcements. From digital banking innovations to improved central bank governance, the pieces are aligning. If this trend continues, the world might soon see the dinar as more than a relic of Iraq's turbulent past. It may become a symbol of disciplined renewal and economic rebirth. As we continue, it's important to recognize that Iraq's progress is happening in tandem with global financial shifts. Institutions like the IMF and the World Bank are not looking to rebuild the old systems of the 1990s. Instead, they are quietly setting up the foundation of a more interconnected financial model, one that prioritizes regional interdependence, shared economic incentives, and systemic balance over dominance. Iraq's role in this transformation is increasingly strategic. With vast oil reserves, human capital, and expanding digital infrastructure, the country is becoming a key player in this emerging financial order. This shift is visible in the movement toward regional monetary alliances. Currency baskets, once considered experimental, are now being seriously discussed as tools to promote long-term financial stability. Iraq, with its growing trade relationships with countries like China, Turkey, and several Gulf nations, is well positioned to participate in such an arrangement. In this structure, the dinar doesn't need to stand alone at $3.00 to prove its worth. Instead, its strength would come from being tied to the collective performance of partner economies, creating a safety net that stabilizes valuation during global volatility. That brings us to a deeper truth often missed in mainstream coverage. Value isn't always about price. In the modern financial landscape, a currency's real worth is tied to trust, utility, and credibility. Iraq is no longer trying to mirror the past. It's building a new system designed for today's global economy, one where transparency, regulation, and digital accessibility matter more than symbolic exchange rates. As the country deepened its compliance with global banking standards, the potential for long-term currency legitimacy only grows stronger. There is also the role of digital transformation. Iraq is gradually embracing technologies that could place it ahead of many other developing nations. With discussions already underway around a potential digital dinar, the Central Bank of Iraq is studying frameworks that would allow faster, more secure, and traceable transactions. A digital currency backed by a trusted regulatory framework could bring tremendous efficiency to Iraq's trade, remittances, and internal economic activity. And with payment restrictions recently removed, the foundation is now in place to support this kind of innovation. But this transformation isn't about overnight success. It's about incremental shifts that lead to larger changes. Iraq doesn't need to reach back to an old valuation like $3.22 to be considered successful. What matters is whether its economic system functions effectively, integrates with international markets, and earns investor confidence. Many countries have achieved significant economic status without having currencies valued near the dollar mark. Iraq's potential lies in creating a sustainable model that works in today's reality. This is also a moment for patience. For dinar holders and long-term observers, the desire to see quick revaluation is understandable. But consider this. When a country reforms its systems at the structural level, the results tend to last longer. Temporary spikes are not as meaningful as long-term credibility. Iraq is pursuing the latter. Whether the revaluation comes through a managed float, a basket tie-in, or a gradual climb in purchasing power, the strategy is clearly one of methodical preparation, not impulse. Let's also not underestimate the psychological power of this transformation. When investors see a country cleaning up its financial policies, adopting global standards, and building meaningful regional relationships, trust increases. And trust is the backbone of any successful currency. Iraq's recent steps show seriousness. This isn't a country waiting for external validation. It's building its own foundation, brick by brick. That kind of determination speaks louder than speculation ever could. So where does this leave you? If you're holding Iraqi dinar, the time to be observant is now. Track central bank policies, watch liquidity changes, pay attention to Iraq's integration efforts with neighboring economies. Look beyond exchange rates and focus on the financial ecosystem being constructed. A revaluation, when it happens, won't be magic. It will be the result of these very efforts, maturing in sequence. This moment in Iraq's history is not about repeating the past. It's about stepping into a global future. The dinar's real rise may not come from reclaiming an old number, but from being part of a next-generation system built on cooperation, security, and modern regulation. Whether the value reaches $1, 0 cents, stays below, or exceeds it, the foundation being built today is what gives it strength tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar News, where we break down the facts behind the forecasts. If you found value in this analysis, give us a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Iraq's financial evolution and the path of the dinar. As always, stay informed, stay patient, and stay ready